Just found out my sister is sleeping with our friend's husband, who also happens to be my husband's boss. What do I do? Hey Reddit. I'm still in shock as I write this, so I apologize if I'm all over the place. I 34F recently found out that my sister 31F has been having an affair with our friend's husband, and to make things even more complicated, he's also my husband's direct supervisor. I'm hurt, angry, confused, and feel like I've been dropped into a soap opera that I want no part of. To give some background, my husband, Mike 36M, has been working at his current job for 5 years, and his boss, Dave 40M, has always seemed like a nice guy. We've even developed a friendship with him and his wife, Sarah 38F, over the years. They've come over for barbecues, holidays, and weekend hangouts. They have 2 young kids, and it's been really nice having them in our lives. We're all close, or at least, I thought we were. My sister, Lucy, moved back to our city a few months ago after going through a rough breakup. She needed a place to stay and some support, so I offered her our guest room until she could get back on her feet. She and I have always been close, and I was happy to help her. She joined in on our gatherings with friends, including times when Dave and Sarah were over. I never suspected that anything was going on between her and Dave. Honestly, the thought never even crossed my mind. Then, last week, I was running some errands and realized I'd left my phone at home. When I got back, I saw that I'd missed a call and a few texts from Lucy. She'd left her phone on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower, and one of her texts caught my eye. It was from Dave. I know it was wrong to look, but curiosity got the better of me, and I opened their conversation. What I found left me stunned. Their texts were flirty and suggestive, and as I scrolled back through the messages, I realized this had been going on for at least a few months. They'd been meeting up regularly, sneaking around behind everyone's backs. The most painful part was realizing how much planning and deception had gone into their affair. Lucy knew how close we all were, yet she still chose to get involved with him, and Dave. Well, he's risking everything. His marriage, his career, his friendship with my husband, all for an affair with my sister. I felt sick to my stomach. Here was my sister, someone I'd always trusted and supported, betraying not only our friend but also putting my husband's job in jeopardy. Dave is Mike's supervisor, and if this mess gets out, I can't imagine how it would impact his work. Mike works so hard, and he's been pushing for a promotion, but if this affair becomes public, it could all come crashing down. After finding the messages, I was torn between anger and heartbreak. I waited for Lucy to come out of the shower, trying to decide what to say. When she walked into the kitchen, I just blurted it out. I asked her if she was having an affair with Dave. Her face went pale, and she didn't even try to deny it. Instead, she started crying, saying that she didn't mean for it to happen and that she didn't think it would go this far. She kept insisting that she was in love with him, that he was different from other men she'd dated. I was speechless. I asked her if she even thought about how this would affect Sarah, Mike, or even me. She just kept saying she was sorry, but I could tell she was more worried about her own feelings than anyone else's. Later that evening, after Mike came home, I felt this huge weight of guilt. I didn't tell him immediately. I know he has a lot riding on this job and that he respects Dave. I didn't want to destroy that image he has of his boss, but at the same time, I felt like I was lying to him by keeping it hidden. I barely slept that night, tossing and turning, trying to figure out what to do. The next day, I decided I needed to confront Dave. I didn't tell Lucy I was going to do it, and I didn't tell Mike either. I wanted answers, and I thought that maybe if I talked to Dave, I could get a sense of what he planned to do. I went to his office after work hours and waited for him in the parking lot. When he came out, he looked surprised to see me but greeted me warmly, as if nothing was wrong. That made me even angrier. I told him I knew about the affair with Lucy, and he didn't even try to deny it. He just sighed, looking defeated. He said he knew he was messing up and that he didn't know how to stop. He told me he had feelings for Lucy but also didn't want to lose his family or his job. I was furious. I told him he was being unbelievably selfish, risking everything for a fling that was bound to hurt everyone involved. He just stood there, saying he was sorry but that it wasn't that simple. I asked him what he planned to do, and he didn't have an answer. He seemed completely torn, like he hadn't thought about the long-term consequences at all. Update. After confronting both Lucy and Dave, I realized I couldn't keep this to myself anymore. I told Mike everything. I was so nervous, afraid of how he would react, but I knew he deserved to know the truth. He was devastated. At first, he couldn't believe it. He kept saying there must be some mistake, that Dave wouldn't do something like that. But after I showed him the messages, he couldn't deny it. The look of betrayal on his face broke my heart. Mike confronted Dave at work, and it didn't go well. Dave tried to apologize, but Mike was too hurt and angry to listen. He told Dave that their friendship was over and that he couldn't continue working under someone he no longer respected. Mike has been looking for new job opportunities since then. It breaks my heart to see him so disillusioned, especially after he'd worked so hard at that company. But he says he'd rather start over somewhere else than continue working under someone who betrayed him and his family. As for Lucy, things have been strained between us. She's still staying at our house, but we barely speak. I told her that I couldn't trust her anymore, and I don't know if I'll ever forgive her for putting us all in this situation. She's been begging me to understand, saying she didn't mean to hurt anyone, but it's hard to believe that when the damage is right in front of me. Sarah, Dave's wife, found out, too. I don't know if it was from Dave directly or if word spread some other way, but she reached out to me, devastated and heartbroken. We've spoken a few times, and she's unsure what to do. They have kids, and she's worried about tearing their family apart, but at the same time, she feels betrayed beyond repair. I don't know how to advise her, as I'm barely managing to keep my own emotions in check. I feel like I'm losing everything, the friendships, the trust, the sense of stability I once had. Mike and I are trying to hold each other up, but the stress is taking a toll on both of us. This whole ordeal has left me feeling like I'm walking on a tightrope, constantly worried about what will come next. I never thought my own sister could be the one to bring this kind of chaos into our lives. Right now, I'm focusing on supporting Mike and figuring out how to rebuild our lives. I don't know what the future holds for my relationship with Lucy. I still love her, but this betrayal cuts deep. I'm hoping that, with time, things will become clearer, but for now, I'm just trying to take things one day at a time.